And we're live, another episode of Saf in the City. When you guys listen to this, it won't be live because that's how this works. But right now we're live. This is my last day in Camp Ask, and obviously as my last day, I'm going to reflect, talk about it, and, you guys always give your feedback, just listen to it. I like when everyone's a part of the journey. That's why we're here. So with me tonight, I have someone who's good to reflect with. They call him the Mirror. We got Harry Erlinsky. Say what's up to the Saf in the Cityers.
Hi, I'm Harry. Welcome.
All right, Harry, give a random fact about yourself.
Ooh, I'm really bad at lip reading.
I like that. Harry, if I remember correctly, you had a podcast or were part of a podcast. What was that about?
Yeah, I had a podcast. It was me, Yis Kamenetsky, and Yehuda Wiener. It's called Step Back 3 Podcast.
The basketball stuff.
Yeah, it was basketball stuff. It was going into my junior year. We did a couple episodes and then kind of just fell apart.
All right, so you're familiar, though, so that's good. We like to see that. All right, so I'm going to start us off with the reflectings, with the Mirror. So, at end of the summer, we finally made it through. Of course, now that we're at the end, it feels like it went by in a second, but we've been here for around 8 weeks, and I'm just going to say I'm really, really happy that we did this. I'm really happy I made it through this. I was very, very close to not coming here, and this was honestly the experience of a lifetime. I want to share 2 memories that really, really stuck with me. One was I was actually in my bunkhouse right here, and we were putting all the kids to sleep, and right before they went to bed, I stopped by 5 different kids, and each kid just made me laugh in a whole different way. And I just realized how pure it was. And that was honestly a big turning point in my summer when I started realizing the happiness here. And another time was tonight. We put my kids in the park and we just had a night chill. We played some music. We let one of our kids that's leaving tomorrow give a speech. And his speech was literally, this was an amazing summer. But everyone got so hyped. That's all we needed. You have any memories or any specific moments that were wow, this is something special here?
That's a great question. I'm going to say the most memorable moments, probably funny moments. I won't say names of any of my campers because I'm not trying to call them out, but
also you never know if they're going to listen to this. You don't want them telling on you.
Yeah, but definitely one of my campers crapped his pants. Someone who does not wear a diaper, and it came out of nowhere. And the way he waddled to the bathroom, we had to change his underwear. That was one of the hardest laughs of my life. I would say also another camper in my bunk, not my camper, but someone who sleeps in my bunk, was running out of the bunk, and I was in my underwear, and I had to chase him, and that was definitely an all-time story. There's definitely some other stories I can't say on a podcast.
That's what I said before. He has to keep it PG, so good for Harry for having a filter.
Yeah, but it was the most memorable summer probably of my life, and definitely the most impactful.
Agree with that, and has got to expect the unexpected. That's how it is. So one thing that I think you'll like that we spoke in our meeting tonight for our end of summer division meeting is the division had asked who here has a camper that's their best friend, and a bunch of us raised our hands, and he said these kids might be your best friends, you might love them, but you are these kids' best friends. You go home, have all your friends. Oh, this clicker, bro. You go home, have all your friends, hang out with them. Of course you still love these kids, but these kids, they don't have home friends. These kids got used to us just being with them every day. And one thing that I noticed this summer is that I actually thought about this morning. My first day here, I was getting a kid ready in the morning, my littlest kid, and I remember it took me 45 minutes to get him ready. I was so stressed out. I couldn't find anything. I barely knew this kid. And when I did, I was happy. And then this morning, I had him, and 15 minutes, we're laughing. Even the parts that is still difficult, we're laughing at each other. We know each other now. So I just think it's interesting, the balance between the job, getting used to the job, and developing relationships with these kids. I know that your kids, you have some kids in wheelchairs, some that don't speak. I want to know, how's the relationship development with the kids that don't speak? How does that work, from where we started to where we are?
So it's definitely a weird thing being a counselor of kids who can't express themselves to you at all. We spoke about this Friday night on your porch, that saying goodbye to these campers, I don't really know because I'm saying bye tomorrow morning, but I don't think it'll be as emotional as if I were to say bye to, let's say I was a Morris Harris or a counselor, to say bye to my campers there, because they can't communicate back to me. And I don't really know, my campers, I don't really know.
Harry has very, very cute campers.
They're adorable, but I don't know if they know so much what it means when I'm saying bye.
Not at all.
Yeah, probably not at all. So it's definitely a weird thing. It's incredibly unique, and I mean, I love them, but it's not the same counselor camper relationship that you would typically see.
100%. So, how do you feel closer to them though? Like, obviously you're more comfortable with them, but it's like with my campers, in the beginning, like they wouldn't listen so much. Like, I didn't know their language, you know. Like now I know how to get them to do stuff. Like we can laugh together. So like, since your campers don't talk, like, where's the relationship growth besides like the love, obviously?
So I'd say the relationship growth is mostly one-sided. You talked about learning your camper's language. It's truly amazing to see that, like, from week 1 to week 8, how you understand your campers. You understand why they're crying, when they're happy, when they're sad, what makes them happy, sad.
Right.
It's the first glimpse of parenthood that I've ever experienced. Not that, like,
we're not parents, but
of course not. But when you spend 8 weeks,
100%,
like,
24/7 care,
them, you totally learn
100%.
their lingo, even when they can't speak, and even if they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing, you know? Get it.
Yeah,
so
I hear that.
That's what I think the most I would say the most special thing that I saw was that, like, light.
You
like,
understood them.
Yeah, tiny glimpse of what parenthood is like.
It's crazy. That's beautiful. Another thing I feel like I gained a lot this summer was complete mentality shift. I spoke of this on the last podcast. The main thing that I worked on was probably patience and selflessness, but I didn't realize how selfish I was until this summer. And it's such little things. I think I said this last time. I was in my camper had we had a night activity, either swim or sports, and everyone wanted to do sports. No one wants to shower with the kid and, you know, in the night. But my camper wanted to go swimming, and it wasn't about me, it was about him. I took him swimming. Another thing that happened like a week ago, I was walking to the swings with one of my kids, and there were 2 swings, and one was a little higher than the other one. And I was taller. Naturally, I wanted to go on the taller swing. The other one was closer to the ground. It was annoying, but I wasn't going to swing anyway. And I just had the thought process that if I'm on this swing, he's not. And that's something that I never would have even thought about before. Like, just the thought of, like, me doing something means someone else is not. And I try to think about that before some of my decisions. How about any mentality shifts for you this summer?
So I'll speak on what you just said about how you have to put somebody else before you. During orientation, they told us that every time you get thirsty, think that your camper's thirsty.
Oh, right.
Every time you get out of a pool and you're cold, your camper's cold too.
You actually said one of the things you do is you'll always put the towel on them before in the pool. So I don't do that, but I like that.
Yeah, I just think every time, I think the easiest way to be a successful counselor in Hask is every time you feel like you need something, put yourself, empathize with your campers who can't communicate with you. Today, my camper Yaakov was crying for hours, and he can't communicate verbally at all, and I had no idea what was going on. It's very hard to read him. And then I asked one of my co's, because I was dying of thirst. I was like, wait, did you give Yaakov water today at lunch? He's like, I totally forgot. Kid hadn't drank water in like 6 hours.
And that's all it was?
Well, I gave him water. He was better. He was still crying, honestly. I think he was probably constipated, to be honest.
It's crazy because people don't get how difficult that is. Even me, like, my campers speak. Like, they'll cry and I'll be like, I'll calm them down. What do you want? And they'll say, like, I need this. So the fact that you were able to, yeah, like you said, through knowing what you need, knowing what they need is very nice. Another thing this summer that I really took away from is loving people and accepting people, like, for who they are and for their strengths, not for their weaknesses. This actually happened with you. I was in the pool, and you handed me this camper, Menachem. Menachem's this camper that is blind, deaf, can't walk, can't speak. And I was holding him in the pool, and the only thing I was thinking was, look how happy he is, because he finally, like, feels the pool. He really liked it. He moves around, he squirms, he makes some noises. And I'm not thinking, wow, this kid can't walk, can't talk. I'm like, wow, like, this kid is so happy. And I think that is huge, to see people for their strengths. I think it gives you a lot more of a positive outlook and just better for relationships. You got any thoughts?
Menachem in the pool is a spiritual experience. I always say this. It's probably the one thing in Hask I would opt to do on my off day. It's true. It's truly beautiful to see someone. He just said this, but he's blind, deaf, autistic, and he's also he has really no understanding of what's going on. And for him, essentially all he has in the world is feel. So when he goes into water, it's a new galaxy for him. and it's like the most beautiful thing. You take him in, and he's shaking, so happy, and he's laughing, and it's just incredible.
When these kids are happy, like I said before, it's pure, and it just gives you a feeling of happiness that is very meaningful. That's what I'll say. We were actually supposed to record this earlier, but there were a lot of speeches tonight, and like, who wants to sit for a long period of time and just listen to someone talk? Like, good thing that's not what this is at all. So. All right. One thing we did this summer is I feel like every few weeks we would ask each other the rating of the summer. Now that it's over, where are you? 1 to 10.
I would say probably somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8. I also we spoke about this every week. I would ask Saf for this. I basically asked like everyone I saw this, but I said to Saf this past Friday night, it's the first summer of my life where the rating scale of how my summer was from 1 to 10 is not purely based on fun. So even if this place, a lot of people say high school is the most fun summer of life. I personally didn't feel that way, but it was, so maybe it's a 6 out of 10 fun, but it was 10 out of 10 on how impactful and important and meaningful it was to my life.
So we can average that to an 8? 6 and 10?
Yeah, 6, 10, yeah. So
it's funny because I think every time we asked this question, we were always like pretty much on the same scale. Like we started like the 7. It's like, it's not the most fun, but it's meaningful. We slowly kept, it's getting better, 7.5. I'd actually also put it at an 8, solid 8 to finish the summer. I think that, like you said, it's not purely about the fun, but even though I've had summers that have been higher than an 8, this is on a whole different scale. I've never had a summer that hasn't been about me, and it's just not. And the things that like I've spoken about and the things that I feel like I've gained are experience of a lifetime. I'm really, really happy that I came here. And I'm actually really sad to go. A lot of people are. So the quote of the day to shift that mentality is, I used to see this in Misora. There was a sign every day I would walk by. I think it's from Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Oh, wow. Harry, he just wiped away all his tears. He's smiling right now. Wow. How does this feel?
I don't know. I actually, I said earlier, like 10 minutes ago, that I definitely don't think I'm going to cry, or I didn't think I was going to cry. But tonight, hearing all the speeches was making me very emotional. I don't think I'm going to cry because tomorrow morning I'll be in a rush out of here.
Yeah. Also, Harry's going to LA, so he just has, that's something to look forward to. And very rewarding for everything you just did. So good for you. Enjoy it there. But yeah, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna cry. I'll smile because it's over. I don't. So I'm like, I guess Dr. Seuss. He really got to me.
Keeping the quote.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really a crier at the end of camp. So
I am. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I can attest. Safa is
for sure. I already cried last night. The kid who sleeps next to me. So we took a picture of our class in academics, and the teacher gave us frames, and he just held it. And he's just like, class E, and that just lost me. I had 15 seconds of crying, but then wait, who? Yehuda. Yehuda's my guy. That's my day one. This kid, the first time I saw him at the bus stop, he's like, "Are you my counselor?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he just gave me the biggest hug. Since then, he's been my rock. He's always happy. He really brightened my mood during some hard times during the summer. He's not gonna listen to this, but Yehuda is the GOAT. So saying bye to him is definitely be hard. I'm sure there'll be some tears, but today I really felt a very happy sad. Like I'm sad, but like it's time. It's time to go, for sure.
I have a question for you, Safra.
Oh no.
So in 5 days from now, you think you're still gonna be missing camp and your campers? Because I feel like every time summer's ending, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna miss it, and then like 3 days later, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I was in camp this week. I feel like that's how it's gonna be.
Agree with that. I have 2 weeks before I go to Israel. I'm happy to have time at home. I think I'll miss the campers more than camp, but I think there will be some times where I'll just miss like just walking around, bumping into people. As a social person, I really enjoy that, but it's time. I could do another week at this point, and I didn't think by the end I'd be saying that, but I wouldn't choose for another week. It's time to go. Maybe I'll be back. We'll see. To switch the vibe a little bit, get a little more. Not that this hasn't been positive, but just to get a little more positive and a little more random. I don't know if you agree with this. I think it's disrespectful to even call this a hot take, but I was just drinking some cherry Coke tonight. Cherry Coke the other week. Cherry Coke is that guy. Agreed?
Oh, interesting. So I'm not a huge soda guy in general. I
knew you wouldn't be.
Yeah, I try not to drink calories. So, but I've obviously tried them all. I'm not crazy, and I just think the original Coke and the original Sprite are the two best sodas ever made. Like, I know that sounds boring because they're they're like the faces of the
Yeah.
game, but they're the faces of the game for a reason.
You think Sprite and Coke are both better than Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, I actually never got the Dr. Pepper hype.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I never got it.
That's crazy.
It's a unique flavor. So I guess if you like that, then you
That's
can
what makes it
understand why
special.
it's your rock.
For sure.
But I've never vibed with it.
All right, listen, I won't respect it, but I'm not gonna hate on it. Actually, I will hate on it. That's a bad take. But so Cherry Coke, where do we stand with that?
Cherry Coke's good.
It's him though. It's him.
No, it's not him. It's very good. It's better than Vanilla Coke, which is also pretty good.
After drinking it tonight, agreed.
But they're both. I just think a normal Coke is the best. It's Coke.
Agreed. If I had to keep one, I keep Coke, but I'm just showing Cherry Coke the respect that I feel like it deserves. You know?
Yeah, I hear that. People definitely don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's
that random canteen drink that you had like when you were in 5th grade.
Yeah, it's just not as easy to find.
That's true.
It's more of those things like you go to the movies and you're going through that machine that gives you 400 different flavors.
Exactly.
Like, okay, cherry, vanilla, blueberry, Coke. Like, let me try it out.
I love Dr. Pepper, but like if there's Cherry Coke and a Dr. Pepper, like sometimes like they're both very specific. I think that's why I like both of them. But sometimes you just want that cherry. Like, not a hot take. I'll take Cherry Coke over Cherry Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I would take Cherry Coke. I would take Cherry Coke over Dr. Pepper and Cherry Dr. Pepper. But I'm not a Dr. Pepper guy. I just don't.
All right.
I don't get it.
Harry likes the Coke.
I would take Fresco over Dr. Pepper.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
God! I hope you guys didn't hear that. Fresco over Dr. Pepper. That's crazy.
That's what I thought of it.
Oh my God! What about seltzer? Is seltzer good or not good?
Seltzer's like okay. I'm not really like I don't hop why people do seltzer over water.
Agreed. It's so not it.
It's also not even like hydrating remotely. It literally makes me dehydrated. I don't get it at all.
So someone explained it to me, and he said that it's like when you're in the mood for like water. I mean, I guess he found it hydrating, even though I agree it's not. But he said like you're in the mood for water, and like you want some soda, but like you don't want it to be too much, and it's the combination. Like I guess I understood, but like I'd rather like drink the ocean than drink seltzer, honestly.
Oh, I don't hate that. I'll tell you this though. Plain seltzer, like plain, like bubbling water, whatever you want to call it. Oh my God, it's nasty. It's actually terrible.
Agreed. That, or not that you've ever tried it, but like the thought of alcohol.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've never tried, yeah. But it sounds like it would taste really bad.
Mom and Dad, you guys should be very proud right now. Harry's mom and dad, you guys should also be very proud right now. All right, we're gonna play a little game. You know the game Wavelength?
I freaking love Wavelength. Love it.
All right, I'm going to explain it. Oh, he says he's good at it. All right, let's see. I'm going to explain it to the viewers. Wavelength is, I'm going to think of a number 1 to 10, and I'm going to give Harry 4 questions to ask to figure out my number. It could be name a color, you know, and I name the color, and based on my answers, he has to get the number. And we're going to see if we get on the same wavelength. You guys can play too, because I'm not going to say the number. I'm not going to cheat. You can trust me. And the number is, I got it, and question number 1.
Wow, so you really put me on the spot. But luckily I played the game before, so I think I could do it.
You got this.
Okay. Give me a month of the year.
Oh, I was going to give that as an example of a question, but I didn't want to rule that out. Yeah, I got you. All right, I like that. I'm going to go April.
Okay, April's a good month in my opinion. I think April's around like a 7. You got Perm in there, and it's like just starting to get hot.
Perm's in there depending on the leap year.
That's true. Oh, really? It's like Perm Pesach. And both of those are great. So I'm thinking like 7. Give me, because we were talking about 4, give me a soda.
Oh, I like that. All right. I'm going to go with Pepsi.
Pepsi's good. I mean, you like Coke, you like Dr. Pepper. I feel like you like Pepsi, but it doesn't seem like you like it as much because you didn't mention it. So I still think 7's a solid guess. Maybe 6. Let me think of another question. Give me an NBA player.
I thought you would go NBA team. An NBA player that I'm going to go with. I gotta be smart about this. I'm going to go Karl Anthony Towns.
Cat. Okay, wow. Cat has been like a 4-time All-Star, so I'm thinking...
I don't think he's been a 4-time All-Star.
3, 2.
2, I think 3 might be pushing it, but maybe it's 3.
And he's been on an All-NBA team, so maybe 8, but I don't know. I think 8's more like Jaylen Brown, and I don't think Cat's at that level, so maybe 7. But maybe I'm just biased because I think it's 7 already. But I'm going to ask one final question. Give me a holiday.
A Jewish holiday?
You know what? Let's scratch that question because I don't want to include non-Jewish holidays. There's not enough Jewish holidays.
No discrimination, though. We love all people.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Can you give me a vacation spot?
All right. That's a tough one.
Take a moment to think.
Yeah. I want to get this right.
Get
Okay.
me off that fence, Eitan.
I'm going to give a more general answer. Like, this is not personal to me or to you. I'm going to say pick your place, but within the States, a ski spot.
Okay, ski spot. So I think most people would agree that ski spots are not as good as warm weather spots. And I think by the way he's saying it, and based on his other answers, he's not someone that hates skiing. Like for me, a ski spot would probably be like a 4, maybe a 3, just because I don't like it. But I think the general consensus would be higher than that. And I think 7 is still the number I'm leaning towards. So I'm going to guess 7.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
All right, he locked in. And the number was 7.
Wow, that was great.
So skiing, I haven't gone skiing. I just feel like I would like it. And like you said, like most people do like it. I wouldn't have thought about it before. I do think Jaylen Brown was a good 8. What would you have thought if I said Jamal Murray? 8?
I think Jamal Murray's probably an 8.
Okay, fine. That's why I went with Cat. I feel like Cat's like you said, the All-Stars, the All-NBAs, but like hasn't like broken that border yet.
Yeah.
You know, second, like, Ant's kind of like the 8
Ant
now.
is an 8,
Yeah. Wow. All right, that was good. Harry said he's good at it. He got my thought process. He was with it. It was 7 the whole time. He was with it step by step. So kudos to you. And we're